If you're an expert on Brazil, it does not make you an expert on Latin America. If you're an expert on South Korea, you're not an expert on Asia. But for some reason, Russianists think they're experts on Tajikistan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Ukraine, and Estonia, which of course they're not. But they tend to be the ones who control academic centers dealing with post-communist studies because they're in larger numbers. They tend to be dominant at annual conferences. And of course, they often dominate external reviewers. Russianists who heavily influence policymakers in the US, Canada, and Europe got it completely wrong, the invasion. And they got it completely wrong in the same way as Moscow got it completely wrong. They also believed, like the Russian leaders, that Ukraine would quickly fold. Russia would be militarily successful very quickly. Kyiv would be occupied in a few days. Ukraine would split. Zelensky would run away. And Russian speakers would be doubtful in their patriotism, in their loyalty to Ukraine. These views were as evident amongst so-called experts in the West and government leaders and policymakers as they were in Moscow. And so while it's obvious why in Moscow they looked like this, they thought about Ukraine in this way, because they had 19th century stereotypes about little Russians running to greet the Russian invading army, which of course had nothing to do with reality. One has to ask, why did Western experts, who were supposedly have been studying the USSR for decades, and then studying post-Soviet independent states for 3 decades, and they got it wrong as well.